This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. I'm joined over Zoom by KSI's coach the morning after the fight last night. I'm joined by Alexis Demetrius. Alexis, I'm very, very tired right now. I'm sure you're feeling a lot worse aware than I am. I won't take too much of your time today because I know you're out of London already. I was trying to come down to your gym, but we'll do it over Zoom, which is very, very kind of you. I think we'll just go straight into it. What knocked Joe Fournier out? Was it KSI's elbow or KSI's punch?
Yeah, I mean, he got rattled a few times during the fight with a couple of right hands. Got hit with an overhand just before, staggered. He's looked really on shaky legs. Then JJ threw a short right hook, connected with the front part, and then unfortunately, as Joe pulled back, he went back into his elbow on review. I mean, it's super unfortunate because obviously I think all of us wanted a clean knockout, which I thought was absolutely on the way. But yeah, it's part of combat. I mean, it's tough. I mean, like I said, I do like a 70 to 100 fights a year, and from headbutts to elbow clashes to forearms to eye pokes, with thumbs and boxing gloves, and these things happen all the time. It's just really frustrating for us because obviously JJ was performing very well, was on course to make something spectacular happen. So some people are going to take away the performance and look at the ending and be like, oh, it was his elbow or whatever it was. But I think ultimately that fight wasn't going any other way. Yeah.
Do you think there'll be any chance of it getting turned into a no contest or anything like that? Or do you think things will stay the same way they are now?
Yeah, well, it's up to the board. I mean, I haven't got a clue. It's like Liam Smith and Conor Benn a month ago. I mean, there were six punches and three headbutts in that and an elbow, and nothing got overturned, and then they're having a rematch again. I'm not fussed whether it was overturned.
That was Liam Smith and Chris Eubank. Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank.
Did I say that? I didn't say that.
You said Conor Benn.
Oh, sorry, Conor Benn. My bad. Yeah, I'm thinking because of Eubank was scheduled to fight Conor Benn. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that fight happened like a month ago. So I don't know. They've got to reschedule a bit to have the fight again. So that obviously held up, and they're just having a rematch. So I don't know whether there's a rematch. I don't know whether or not we have it again. I don't care if you want to have that fight again. I mean, if everyone's interested in seeing it, I'm absolutely 100% have no problem having that fight again. I think it was an easy night's work, as I thought it was going to be for JJ. But if yeah, I'm absolutely open to it. No problem. It's nothing personal for me.
Do you think they will do the rematch again just because of the way it ended? I guess now you got more storyline, a bit more of a build up, and then do the Tommy Fury fight in December. Fight Tommy Fury in December, and then rematch Joe in August. Is there any chance of that happening? Therefore, it'll give you more time to prepare for Tommy, which is the tougher opponent there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what the guys, his management, want to do. All I get consulted on is, how to win this fight and opponents to put in front of my face. I don't get to choose anything, but yeah, I'm not adverse to any of it. I just would, if people want to see it and it makes sense to the management team, I have no problem in that fight. I find Joe Fournier, I don't think he's a tough guy for JJ. When you look at the styles, when I watched the first round again and into the second round, and we were going to judge his scorecard, he got rattled with every single punch of that fight. He was really, really slow compared to JJ. I just didn't think there was any problems in the fight. So if everyone wants to have it again, I think it's a no-brainer. Yeah, sure.
But do you think if this fight was sanctioned by the British Board of Boxing, it's a normal professional boxing, do you think it would have gone the way it wanted? Do you think they would have given KSI the win, or do you think it would have been scheduled a no contest? I don't mean to be patronising. I'm just asking the questions.
No, of course. No, of course. No, it would definitely have gone the way. It's exactly the same way it went. Just like you said with Liam Smith and Eubank. It would definitely have carried on. You can always file an appeal. Ultimately, fight to fight and things happen in combat all the time. I think realistically speaking, if you're doing a 12-round fight for a belt, after 3 or 4 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, on the British Border Control, you go to the scorecards if there's an accidental blow, which it definitely was, if that's the case. So it would have been decided by the scorecards on an accidental blow, Fred. So if we're talking about Misfits being a 6-round fight, then after a round or two, it goes to the scorecards, and JJ was up anyway. So if it's a no contest, it'll go to the scorecards, which we were winning anyway. So if you're running it through the British Border Control, the winner would have been the one who was in front because they would have gone to a points. What they don't do is put it to no contest. They go to after a certain amount of rounds, it goes to no contest and it goes to the scorecards. So we were clearly ahead on the scorecards. And if it's a 6-rounder, then it would have been in the second round that we were boxing. So I think ultimately, like I said, me personally, I'm not fussed with having the fight again if that's cool. But I've seen millions of fights. If you look from Lennox versus to Klitschko, with the headbutt that went to the scorecards, and Lennox was losing. These things happen all the time. But again, it's pedantic for me. I think that I would have no problem with having the fight again. I thought JJ performed really, really well. I think when I watched the fight again, and I have watched it again, I thought that he landed, he went for a short right hook which clipped, and then Joe pulled back and pulled into it. And it was a follow through of a shot that David Hayes done a million times over. The guys like Maidana have done a million times over, or Tank. Everyone follows through with punches. You're putting your whole body weight, you're putting your whole soul into the punch. So you're trying to get the job done. But yeah, I think if it was through the board of control, like they have done right now, I don't think there'd be any difference in the result. I think we'd go either to a rematch if the promoters thought that it would make more money.
Okay,
I think ultimately the reason why Eubank and Smith are making more money is they did a great pay-per-view. If it was a dud-selling fight, I don't think anyone would want to pay to see that fight again. So it's an exciting fight.
Certainly. I reckon now you made the point of they would have just gone to the scorecards straight over and then Cena won, and I guess KSI would have been the winner. I guess I went to Germany in a few weeks' time. I know he's gone up to Italy, I think, into Rome.
But it could have been the other way around. I mean, we should always with these sort of conversations, always flip it around. What happens if that was JJ, if that was KSI taking the elbow on the other side, right? We would have to deal with the same appeal process, and we would have to go to the scorecards. So ultimately, if someone wants to cheat, not a lot of people cheat when they're winning. So if Joe was getting knocked out and on his way to losing and then to an elbow, you'd go to the scorecard and KSI would have won because he was ahead on the scorecard. That's when cheaters normally cheat. There's no cheating when you're winning. You're beating somebody up. It was an unfortunate, unlucky blow after he was already rocked. So Joe's faculties weren't all there. His mannerisms weren't all there. And, so it's just unfortunate. Like I said, for me personally, I'm super unhappy that it finished without being as decisive as it could have, because ultimately that would have been a spectacular knockout with Joe. It would have been fantastic. It was on its way coming. I think all of you guys are watching it could see that KSI was in shape. So it was looking good.
Certainly, yeah. It was kind of heating up, as I was saying. One thing I do want to ask you about, I interviewed Joe after the fight, and that interview is doing very, very well, kind of traction and numbers. Hopefully it'll be #1 trending soon in the world, but hopefully. I did ask him about the fight, and then he did say a comment that you and him had to exchange of words after the fight ended.
Yeah.
Did you have a comment on that at all?
Yeah, you know what? I don't normally kiss and tell. It's normally a personal situation. I actually, he was being a little bit insulting and making threats, and someone phoned me up saying Joe's threatening I'm going to knock JJ out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it's like, for me, it's business. I have 70 to 100 fights a year. I don't like people phoning me up on my personal cell phone, making threats to one of my fighters, telling me what they're going to do, like it's going to intimidate me, or I'm going to be nervous, or that sort of behavior is absolutely ridiculous. And I thought to myself, well, you know what? Let's let the fight go out and the better man will win. And I was pretty sure that JJ was going to win. And then after he won, I walked over and let him know that he was playing checkers and I was playing chess. I had the best pieces on the table. He wasn't good enough to deal with JJ. I let him know that. And if he wants to be salty about it, that shows the type of character he is. If he wants to insult me and threaten my fighters and phone me up, which is ridiculous, then unfortunately you're going to get a response back. So it wasn't it wasn't an outward act of aggression. It wasn't being disrespectful. I was just rebutting to somebody being out of line. And it's unfortunate that he mentioned it, because I would have kept it really personal. And that's why I said it to him, and I haven't interviewed about it. And I don't like to do this sort of things. For me, it's not personal. If you want to make it personal, I'm happy to go there. But for me, I have so many of these a year that I feel that the fighters do the talking and the coaches stay out of it. And when he dragged me into it, I felt like I had to address it as a man. And it's just unfortunate that he spoke about it and he's salty about it. But I think the words of advice and wisdom, if you're going to give it, make sure you can take it and make sure you don't cry about it. At the end of the day, we're all men and we can't speak to each other rudely. Otherwise, there are consequences to our actions.
Okay, that's quite a good summing up there, because it's good when you get both sides of the story. So if it's just one side, then it seems a little biased. But then I got both sides. I guess that's.
I've never been. People don't phone me up. I had people phoning me up, passing on messages that he's going to threaten. Now you've pissed me off. I just thought the whole thing was so childish and ridiculous. I feel that they have to be addressed. But what I wasn't going to do is jeopardize a fight and put myself in a line of I want nothing to do with this. I'm a coach. I'm not a fighter. I don't want to be involved in these interactions. So when he brought that up, I thought that was a personal thing for me and him. And I saw the interview that he did with you, and I just thought it shouldn't be aired. If he has a problem, he can speak to me, no problem. I've got no issue with talking to Joe about any of this. Like I said, I've had guys spar Joe before, and I've cornered guys that have fought him. So it's not like he can't get a hold of me. I just found it unprofessional the way he was talking. Maybe he's just upset about getting knocked out. He's upset about how the fight went, and he was upset that I spoke to him about it. But realistically speaking, don't dish out if you can't get it back.
I guess it's all in the moment. It's all in the heat of it. Maybe over a few
Yeah,
days after you might think, okay, maybe we can take things down a peg. Um,
but that was all. But just so we're clear, that is all I said. I
yeah,
said that he played checkers and we played chess and I have all the cards. There's no way he was going to do a number one KSI. I felt that JJ was too strong, too fast, and hit way too hard for him, and that's why that fight was signed. We felt that we could beat a 9-0 pro who held the WBA title. We felt we could do that, and we proved our point.
So it's nice. It's nice to know that you got things straight. Have you spoken to KSI? I know it's only what 12 o'clock here on Sunday. Have you
Yeah, of
spoken to
course.
JJ? I had
Yeah,
like a
of course,
with
of
them
course.
since the
Yeah, of
fight.
course I have. Yeah.
Can you say anything that was said, or is it all personal? That's fair enough. It is. I'm
No,
busy.
it's fine. Listen, he was, yeah, obviously JJ craves perfection. That's his character. He craves perfection. He doesn't want to leave any unanswered questions. He was just happy with the fact that he could do whatever he wanted to Joe in that fight. Like he was capable of boxing him, about jabbing him, of moving with him, of hunting him down when Joe was on his back foot. I thought Joe was going to come out. I mean, JJ, he told JJ he was going to come out swinging and meet in the center of the ring. And the second he felt a little bit of power, the first straight right hand landed, changed the whole fight. And Joe was just on his back foot. He didn't. It looked like KSI was the professional in there, and Joe was the influencer. That's what it looked like in there to everyone. And JJ was just like, I think he's pumped about the next fight. If I'm honest with you, he's already talking about. I'm trying to stop the kid from going for a run today. He's
Mm.
back in the gym on Monday. He's back in the gym on Monday. So he legitimately was like, what am I doing today? I said, if the team suggests that we're gonna or contractually get Tommy Fury next, I think that's an enormous fight, and there's massive amounts of danger to the fight and massive amounts of excitement to it. And I think that we're gonna need every second of our camp, and we're gonna need every round we can have as far, and we're gonna need every moment of this camp if they're gonna set up. So yeah, I'll find out sort of Monday, Tuesday where we're at, and then we get back to work.
A lot
No
of
time off.
a lot of people will say that Tommy Fury in August, it might be a little bit soon, and that having it in December will be the smarter option from a management point of view. What do you make of that? Would you, as his coach, and I guess you have a big impact on his management, on Mams, on Proper Loud, would you much rather take that fight in December? Seemingly, it might be the safer option.
Yeah, I think ultimately we're contract fighters, so you have to put a name down on a contract, and we have to get our fighter ready to fight. We're prize fighters. We don't. It's not my job to mess around with dates and times. If I can get JJ ready, he'll have that fight, and if he's not going to be ready, then he won't have that fight. So I guess it's all got to be done with the preparation. I mean, ultimately, you'd normally take at least before you can even sign another fight, but in this industry, it's slightly different. Things move very, very quickly. So for me, it's a new thing for me dealing with how fast these contracts are moving. But yeah, I wouldn't be adverse to an August, September fight, sort of in the middle of that. Both, I think that would probably be, from my point of view, I think that would probably be more of a timeline that you'd look for. I think August might be a bit of a quick turnaround. And also, you have to remember from a weight point of view as well. Look at Tommy. Tommy's got to cut a lot of weight. He was massively over the fight weight, and JJ's a small guy. You saw the size difference between Joe and JJ. So JJ's just filling into this weight. He's a 170 fighter that's filling into a 180 fighter because none of the guys that are in our sights are 180. 170, right? They're all. Tommy Fury would never make 170. He barely makes 180, 185 in his last fight. Jake Paul will never make 180. He barely made 184 in the other fight. So JJ's the one that has to go up, right?
Mm. But
Yeah. So that
KSI is the A side in that fight as well. I think you remember. But do you prefer JJ at a lower weight, like 170 or 180? Or do you as a coach prefer?
Oh no, I'd 100% have JJ fighting his fight weight. For me, every advantage I can get from a coaching point of view, the better. I would love JJ at 170. He carries insane power and crazy cardio. He carries the same power and probably better cardio at 170. But we have to keep him at 180 because none of the other guys can make 170. So we have to give up the weight to somewhat. These guys will always be bigger framed than JJ, but JJ's movement and punch power will equal that weight division out. That's the point. There's a limit to you can go to, and I think that putting extra weight on JJ's, carrying the extra weight won't do him any favors. I think you're going to be slowing down a race car by putting extra weight onto it.
For this fight, would the British Board of Boxing sanction it or the PBA sanction it? It's a two-part question. I just want to know.
Yeah, I think dealing with the border control is very difficult with influencers at the moment. That's the problem. The problem is they don't want the show having influencers. So sanctioning a single fight, if you're going to just have one fight with JJ against Tommy Fury in an arena, then have one fight, cool. But the Misfits show itself, they have influencers on it, and the board doesn't want anything to do with influencers. So for me, I can't say that the board won't. I'm sure the board would sanction KSI versus Tommy, but they wouldn't sanction a Misfits show because they don't sanction influencer boxing fights. So
Mm.
that's where the dilemma comes in. So yeah, I mean, I love them. Whichever governing body wants to do it, we'll follow that rule set. But ultimately, it's not going to be our decision. I think when the guys from Misfits and the promotion companies, whoever's promoting the fight, if it's with the Furies, if it's with Jake Paul, they'll come up with a governing body that will suit both their needs as promoters, and we as coaches will have to abide by those rules.
Mm. As I said, it's a two-part question. So the second part is when Jake Paul fought Tommy Fury, if he won, he would have got given a sanctioning place in the WBC, the World Boxing Council, for the green and gold belt.
Yeah,
the favorite belt in boxing. So
yeah,
if KSI fights Tommy Fury, will KSI get a ranking if he wins?
yeah. I couldn't care less about ranking. I think that the Tommy Fury fight, the Jake Paul fight, are just enormous fights, and it shouldn't really have an impact. I mean, let's be fair. Tommy Fury got a ranking at cruiserweight, right?
Yes.
That's ridiculous. He's fought his fights at light heavyweight, not cruiserweight. So I think the WBC wanted to get a little bit of shine from the show and just get a little bit of hype and put their name into it. I think giving any of these guys rankings without finding anyone in the top 10 or top 15 is outrageous. When you enter a WBC top 15 rankings worldwide, you're subject to your side of drug testing, water testing all the time. It's a proper business. So I think that ultimately people want to get promo or press out of it, but a ranking doesn't interest me. I think winning these fights is what interests me. That's what we're paid to do, and that's what we have to do. So ranking for me doesn't mean anything. Not for this team, you know.
Yeah, I'm just curious because then again, if the WBC involves, it's different referees. I'm just wondering about that.
Yeah.
At ringside.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Yeah, interesting point. I wouldn't be adverse to having a WBC governing board or referees. They're all absolute top level professionals. So from that point of view, I was talking about it actually not working out from a promotional point of view because they won't promote the other fights. But if they wanted to sanction one fight and have their own referees, yeah, absolutely, I would have no problem with the WBC body. They're fantastic.
And of course, there'll be another string to KSI's bow saying, "And I was ranked by a professional boxing
100%.
committee as well." Did you see? You got any comment? You don't want to comment on this, absolutely fine. But did you see the scuffle at ringside between Tommy Fury and Idris Virgo?
I did see a clip of it. Yes.
What do you make of that? Gas KSI sparring partner, and obviously Jada's fighting Tommy.
Sorry, say that again.
Do you have any comment on that at all? I know you're not involved, even though you do coach Idris, but do you have any comment on that at all? Tommy versus Idris, in the crowd that happened?
Yeah, I think it was completely unnecessary and should never have happened. I think that moment in there is Tommy was there to sell a potential fight and to size up JJ after his fight. These guys come in the ring like we do after a fight to size a person up. You get to see what somebody's going to be like on fight day. So when somebody cuts away, Tommy looked very different last night than he will do on fight day, right? He's going to be about 10, 15 kilos lighter. I think Tommy wanted to get in there and size him up and have a look at what he was going to be dealing with and actually get his hands on him and have a look at him. So the fact that Idris and Tommy had an altercation, I think, is unprofessional. And yeah, it's ridiculous. It should never have happened. You know, like I said, I've got lots of fighters. I can't control their actions when they're away from the gym. So I thought it was absolutely unprofessional and, it should never have happened.
But it's got nothing to do with you because you weren't there. You were in the ring or backstage. So there's nothing that you can't control or can control.
No.
Before I let you go, one of your fighters as well had a fight on the card. Her name leaves my head though. Paige Katie.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you train her, or is it one of your fighters that trains her?
Yeah. So I have a lot of coaches that work for me, and I oversee all the training. But I had one of my other fighters, Norbert Leveniev, coach her for the 7-week camp that she had. And she did amazing. The girl that had never put on a pair of gloves to go and keep form and have a bounce and look like she could box. She was better than some of the other guys on the undercard. Mm-hmm. It was a great fight. Both those girls did really, really well. They should both be proud of themselves.
Very tidy boxing. I was very impressed because it didn't look too novice. It was very tidy. Both get their hands up. The movement was quite good as well.
I actually thought, I mean, for the other young lady to move when she was double guarding, I thought was really intelligent of her, not staying in the same spot and moving. I actually thought they both got coached really, really well. I thought that Paige won it by 3 rounds. I think when she got hit with I think maybe 2 or 3 punches around, but because the head kicked back, it looked worse than it was. But she landed way more punches and landed the bigger punches as well. But I actually thought they both did fantastic.
And one more thing before I let you go. Derek Chisora, I know he faced off Bradis. Or had a little altercation with Bradis at the wedding. Well, not an altercation, but more like a face off. Do you think we'll see Derek on Misfits? Maybe some shorter fights, 6 round or 8 rounds, just a complete war.
Yeah, from my point of view, if you keep Derek at like a 6 round fight, but you're going to get an absolute ridiculous pace, bomb burning, heavyweight madness. I'm not sure if Bradis is the right guy. I'm happy to do it. I don't know whether or not he's geeing up everyone enough. I think I think from a crowd point of view, everyone wanted excitement. They want Misfits to do what they do, which is throw like I don't know, which is throw like throw like a wolf against the bear or something. Misfits are crazy. They're doing crazy things at the moment. So I think putting Chisora in with anyone, maybe Hardy, maybe Bradis, anyone that whoever the fans want to see, I think Derek would be an asset to the show. I think he's the type of fighter you want on Misfits. Someone who's going to go, someone who's going to be crazy and give the crowd what they want. I don't think you want like amazingly articulate, great chess match boxing fight. Otherwise,
you wouldn't have a kid. You wouldn't have a Kid Galahad on Misfits. I like Kid Galahad. I like his style, but you wouldn't have his style on Misfits.
Yeah, you just you'd want the Ben Whittakers of the world. You'd want the guys that have got flair and want a style. I think that's the type of fight that this crowd and most people, to be fair, want to see. They want to be entertained and see something, a wow factor. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Derek could definitely fight on this. It's all up to the promotional offers, and I think you're aware there's some very big heavyweight fights going on at the end of the year now. So I think there's a potential for Derek to be on some of those cards as well. So we have to kind of pick wisely.
Certainly. I will let you go, Alexis, because I know I kept you here for some time. I've gone a little bit hard. I do apologize. I got a little bit hard today on you. It's just the questions you got to ask. But what do you got on the rest of the day though? I see you at the restaurant or a little cafe.
Unfortunately, I'm here taking a late brunch with my wife, and I've got to have 2 more fights tonight in Kent that I'm traveling to. So I had one Thursday in Paris, had one Wembley on Saturday, and 2 more today in Kent.
Oh wow! Say sorry to your wife from me. That's really bad. I think like 25 minutes.
No problem. Listen, I just I saw your interview with Joe, and I thought that when you messaged me, I thought it was important to rebut it. Like I said, I don't normally like to air these sort of things, and I thought that it was quite personal. But I appreciate you getting back to me and speaking with me.
I was a bit upset when Joe said that because I do get along with Joe, and I thought I know you're very well spoken and you don't mean any harm. So I thought, okay, I want to get one of Alexis and make sure he gets.
Yeah, I appreciate it because, like I said, it wasn't personal. But at the same time, when you make threats and you're disrespectful, I think that me going to him before the fight would have been disrespectful and wouldn't have been correct. So I thought I'd do it after the fight. And also, like you said, emotions are running high, and it meant a lot for JJ and it meant a lot to us, because we're all family. So again, I just think he's being a bit salty, and again, maybe I said it too early. Either way you look at it, I just think that these things shouldn't be aired. So I'm just addressing it again.
It's the heat of the moment. It happens to everyone. Normally it's not aired. That's why no one ever speaks about these things. Normally it's not aired. Alexis, I do really appreciate you coming on. I put this one out tonight, so I do appreciate it. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
No problem. No problem. Take it easy, man.